At the far end of the hall there seemed to have been an explosion in the laundry basket. It was the work of the kitchen boy, still delving down and flinging out the contents. As Ruso approached, a blanket unfurled in the air. A sock disengaged from it and sailed past his shoulder. The kitchen boy apologized. He had not found the letter yet. "But we're all looking, sir." "Thank you," said Ruso, grateful for his efforts even though the bottom of the laundry basket had obviously lain undisturbed since whenever it was Serena had walked out and taken the staff with her. "Let me know if you find anything." He was not optimistic. If he was right about the burglar, then one question about the letter had been answered. Its contents were important to somebody. Unfortunately, the manner in which he had learned of their importance meant he was not going to be able to find out what they were. The apprentices had now moved on to the upstairs rooms in their efforts to vindicate themselves. Remembering Tilla's precious crockery, Ruso hurried up to restrain them. The box had been dragged out from under the bed, and he deduced from the shape of the legs protruding in its place that the tall apprentice was conducting a thorough search. "It won't be under there," Ruso pointed out. "Nobody who had it came in here." "I know, sir," agreed a muffled voice, "but we've tried everywhere else." The legs began to shuffle back toward Ruso. The tall apprentice's face, when it appeared, was smudged with soot. His hair was sticking up at unintended angles, and a cobweb festooned one ear, evidence of his searching in other unlikely places. "I'm going to have to go out," said Ruso. "If you have to look in here, be careful of that box with 'Fragile' written on it." The boy's bewildered glance around the room showed that he had not noticed the warning when he moved it. "And that trunk has my medical texts and instruments locked in it, so don't bother looking there." He turned to leave and found himself facing the short apprentice. He was about to say, "There's no point in two of you wasting time in here," when he noticed a battered piece of parchment cut from a scroll in the youth's hand. "That's not it," he said. "We're looking for a wax tablet." "Yes, sir," said the youth. "But is it the actual tablet you want, or just what was written on it?" Ruso paused. "You mean you can remember what was written on it?" "No, sir." The youth held out the parchment. "But I've got my notes. It was hopeless with two of us trying to work on it at once, so I copied it out." Ruso scanned the document and read aloud. "Dearest girl, when your sweet lips meet my eager—" He looked up. "This isn't it, surely?" "Oh, no, sir. That's a poem. The other side." He turned it over and flattened the curve against the wall with his thumbs to reveal 2 lines of text in fresh black ink. As far as he could recall, the shapes echoed those of the original. They even curved down toward the foot of the document at the right-hand end. The tall apprentice was leaning over his shoulder. "Why didn't you say you'd got that, stupid?" It was a good question, but not one Ruso was inclined to waste time on. "Young man," he said, placing his hand on the short apprentice's shoulder, "you are a hero." The blush shot upward. The youth mumbled something about Dr. Valens insisting they always took notes. For a moment Ruso even felt a rush of gratitude toward Valens and his ability to teach by lecture, if not by example. "Will it do, sir? Or do you want us to keep on looking?" "This will do," said Ruso, tightening the roll of the parchment. "This will do very nicely."